For those who don't know me, I am William Leach, President of Kingdom Development and an advocate for the Universal Data Model. In this video, I will provide examples of the benefits to using structured application forms. The Universal Data Model involves state housing agencies collecting structured data from applicants. Application forms are bifurcated into specialized spreadsheets designed to seamlessly share data. Among other things, this structure allows application forms to communicate errors, provide smart checklists, and auto-populate staff reports. When I refer to structured data, I'm simply referring to data stored in a predetermined format. The primary benefit of structured data is that it can be quickly and dependably retrieved. The example below shows a project's sources entered into a table with predefined columns. Here's an example of sources being stored in an unstructured format. The data is stored in two different locations, and the source, tax credit equity, is stored separate from other permanent financing. This is an example of a table designed to store project information in a designated location, with each data point having a unique reference. This data is ready to be shared with other spreadsheets. This example shows a table that has imported information from multiple spreadsheets that reside in the same folder. Given the unique references, this spreadsheet can readily access all the data its companion spreadsheets made available. Let's take a look at an example of a set of specialized spreadsheets that communicate application information. First, there is an underwriting spreadsheet with sources and uses, income and expenses, but no program-specific information. Next, we have a TCAC application that stores information about the tax credits requested. Following that, we have a spreadsheet that simply contains raw data, like rent limits. Lastly, we have an HCD spreadsheet containing info about the project's VHHP loan and voucher request. Because these files are located in the same folder, they are able to reference each other's data. One benefit of being filed together is the file path to where they live is irrelevant. If moved together, the files can be placed in a different folder or on a different computer without issue. But what happens when raw data needs to be updated? I mean, rent limits change every year. With the use of specialized spreadsheets, only that data needs to be moved out and the new data brought in. Neither the underwriting spreadsheet nor the applications to the agencies need to be changed. Alternatively, raw data, such as rent limits, could be stored on the web. In this scenario, applicants would specify with a drop-down box which year's rent limits to download and apply. Agency staff could save additional time by using staff reports that automatically pull data from the application forms. The analyst could copy a template staff report into the folder, refresh its data, and voila, we have a fully completed staff report. Alternatively, agency reports and tools could be stored in a subfolder and still be able to pull data from its parent folder. Another exciting feature is the ability to create smart reviewer checklists. Since the application states it's a new construction family project, the reviewer's internal checklist can automatically mark certain review tasks not applicable. Taking this one step further, checklists could be made to facilitate joint review by multiple agencies, communicating delegation, workflow, and progress. In this way, the data model goes beyond reducing redundant data entry. It reduces redundant effort. How else could we reduce workload? We could create an application comparison tool, highlighting for analysts what has changed since the original application. Another way to save time is to reduce the amount of errors we find in applications. One way to do this is to create a dynamically generated error report, notifying applicants when they fail to meet a requirement. Spreadsheets know how to calculate a 3-month operating reserve, and they could warn an applicant that's out of compliance. This type of error reporting will also make it easier for new folks in the industry to learn the state's requirements. Another way to reduce errors and make the industry easier to learn would be to provide dynamically generated checklists. The application forms could gray out items that are not applicable and tell the applicant why. If making the industry more understandable was a priority, checklists could include threshold requirements and communicate when those requirements have been met. Looking at the bigger picture, a universal data model would make it easy to upload data to statewide databases. Intermediary spreadsheets could be built to format the data how the database wants it, or more advanced queries could be designed to perform batch uploads directly from the application forms. In many ways, our application data will be easier to aggregate and analyze. We could create queries to combine all of the application data into a single applicant list, thereby saving agency staff time and effort. With increased access to data and the ability to query batches of applications, agency staff could provide policymakers insightful reports immediately after the application deadline. Policymakers could look at production statistics, data trends, year-over-year comparisons, etc. Imagine having immediate access to data for policy-making decisions. Why should California's state housing agencies adopt a universal data model? Because then we would be able to facilitate joint applications, streamline application review, minimize application errors, and automate reporting. We would have data at our fingertips, and we'd be able to make informed policy decisions. If you too believe in the benefits of a universal data model, please contact me. I would love your support and your feedback.